IRS situation. Listen, a lot of y'all don't understand how this shit work because y'all not on that tax bracket, right? What happened was that I didn't report my taxes for 2020, 21, 22, and 23. Those years, I done paid $6 million, $2 million in 2018, $1.3 million 2019. For the year of 2020, I'm at 1.8 million. Over $6 million went to the IRS. Like I said, when you make over a certain amount of money, I think they tax you in the state of New York.
Goodness, you are absolutely not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. 6IX9INE is completely and totally broke this time, and I mean genuinely seriously broke. The IRS has finally had it with him and they are showing absolutely zero mercy. They literally stormed right into his house. Can you imagine the audacity? And confiscated all of his precious jewelry just to auction it off to the high bidder. As if that wasn't humiliating enough, they've even put his entire house up for sale. That was the moment when 6IX9INE completely lost his mind and started having the most embarrassing meltdown online that I've seen in ages. I'm telling you, nothing in his possession was safe from the IRS. Not even those ridiculous lace front wigs he's always flaunting. Everything went straight to auction and girls were practically breaking the internet trying to snatch those wigs up the second they appeared online. The level of embarrassment is just beyond comprehension at this point. And here's what makes this situation even more outrageous. After all of that public humiliation, this man had the absolute audacity to get online and start trolling his fans, calling them broke. Can you believe the nerve? Meanwhile, his face is literally plastered all over the IRS website for the entire world to see. I swear you absolutely cannot make up this level of delusion and disconnect from reality. Now, if you're sitting there wondering why on earth the IRS is coming for him with such intent, hold on to your seats because this tea is scalding hot. This complete fool hasn't paid his taxes for 4 entire years. Can you even wrap your mind around that level of financial irresponsibility? He seriously thought he could just hide away for years without paying a single dollar in taxes, and the IRS would just shrug their shoulders and let him continue living his extravagant lifestyle. Has he never heard of the IRS before in his life? Everyone with a functioning brain knows they don't play games when it comes to unpaid taxes. They will come for anybody. No matter how famous you think you are or how many followers you have on Instagram. 6IX9INE learned that lesson the most painful way possible when they put all his precious jewelry up for sale on their website and everything sold out in literal minutes. And honey, these weren't just some cheap trinkets. We're talking about his signature Bruce the Shark diamond pendant was listed for over $2 million, and buyers were already lining up around the virtual block to get their hands on it. Apparently it had some cracks and imperfections, but that didn't stop people from absolutely flocking to buy it. I guess people really will buy anything with a celebrity connection, even if that celebrity is notorious for all the wrong reasons. This entire situation is beyond humiliating on every possible level, and of course 6IX9INE couldn't keep his mouth shut about it for even 5 minutes. He immediately jumped on Instagram and started throwing out the most ridiculous excuses left and right about why the IRS was selling off his prized possessions. According to his version of events, they broke into his house while he was convenient away in the Dominican Republic and took absolutely everything. He claims they busted into his safe looking for money, but when they only found his precious jewelry, they decided to take it all and sell it instead, as if the IRS operates like common thieves rather than a federal agency with strict protocols. But wait, it gets even more absurd and unbelievable. He insists they weren't selling his stuff because he didn't pay taxes, but because he didn't report his taxes for 4 years, and when he finally decided to file, he supposedly could because he had these mysterious immigration problems in the Dominican Republic and wasn't allowed to leave the country for 8 whole months. How convenient that there was always something preventing him from fulfilling his basic civic responsibilities. He even had the nerve to post stacks of cash on Instagram with this ridiculous caption. This was the reason the feds did the raid. They broke into this safe thinking there was money in there, but it was only the jewelry. 1 year ago when I was stuck in DR for 8 months, the feds made a raid for the entire house because I did not report my income for 4 years, and for them it was seen as I was running and hiding in DR, when the reality was I could not leave and get to the USA. If you don't live like this without renting, you shouldn't have an opinion. I mean, the level of entitlement in that statement alone is absolutely staggering. If you don't live like this without renting, you shouldn't have an opinion. Excuse me, most law-abiding citizens manage to pay their taxes regardless of their housing situation. The audacity of this man knows absolutely no bounds. Listen, a lot of why don't understand how to work. 'Cause you're
A lot of y'all don't understand how this work because y'all not on that tax bracket, right? What happened was that I didn't report my taxes for 2020, 21, 22, and 23. Those years, I done paid $6 million, $2 million in 2018, $1.3 million 2019. For the year of 2020, I'm at 1.8 million. Over $6 million went to the IRS. Like I said, when you make over a certain amount of money, I think they tax you in the state of New York 54%. Biden was trying to raise it to 62% in the state of New York and California. So I moved out of New York to Florida, where it has different tax laws. Long story short, thank God we have Donald Trump, who's now the president, who's gonna change a lot of tax laws, because what they do is, like I said, I got an open case right now, so I don't want to talk bad about the IRS, but I quote my president, Donald Trump, these people belong at the border. They just a big gang that comes after your income and everything. So listen, this is not no Airbnb. This is not an Airbnb. This is my house. This is how I really live. Done.
That's a fact.
And bitches who know us, listen, you could be a hater. It's cool. Just remember, you got to pay rent on the first. What's today? Oh, y'all got to pay rent. Listen, you got to pay rent tomorrow. Look at me. Y'all got to pay rent tomorrow. So it's cool to hate, but remember, you got to clock in at 9 a.m. You got to clock in at 9 a.m. tomorrow. You got to clock out at 5 p.m.
IX himself openly admitted he was completely broke. He literally told the court under oath that he didn't even have enough money to pay his lawyer's fees, and was barely receiving any royalties from his merchandise deals, which by the way he'd been unceremoniously dropped from right before his arrest. Let me quote his exact words from court: "So you know I'm not exaggerating right now. I am struggling to make ends meet. I do not know if I will ever command the kind of advances I was paid before my arrest and my career stalled. I did receive large advances under the recording artist and merchandising agreements prior to my arrest. However, I do not receive any royalties under those agreements either, since my royalty accounts remain unrep. It will surely bankrupt me in a way from which I will never recover, to the permanent detriment and hardship of the family members who rely upon me." That doesn't sound like someone who's rolling in money, now does it? Those are the words of someone who is watching their career and finances crumble before their very eyes, but somehow he still manages to flaunt an extravagant lifestyle on social media. Make it make sense. The disconnect between his courtroom confessions and his online persona is truly mind-boggling, but that's just scratching the surface of his financial disasters. In 2021 he got entangled in another legal case, this one involving a stripper who sued him for violently hitting her in the head with a champagne bottle. According to court documents obtained by TMZ, the judge ordered him to pay her almost $10 million in damages. Can you imagine having to pay that kind of money when you've already admitted in court that you're struggling financially? The judge was absolutely merciless, and rightfully so. He ordered all of 6IX9INE assets to be sold to pay the woman, including his precious Rolls-Royce and his flashy Florida mansion. The judge literally stated that he didn't care if 6IX9INE had to sell every single possession in his life to come up with the money. He wanted that stripper to get her full $10 million in compensation for what she endured. Even the judge is completely sick of his outrageous behavior and lack of accountability. Oh, but wait. There's so much more to this never-ending saga of financial irresponsibility. One of his former best friends who he was in business with completely exposed him and spilled all the scalding hot tea about why their friendship and business relationship ultimately fell apart. And surprise, surprise, it was entirely about money and 6IX9INE terrible financial decisions. Apparently 6IX9INE called him up desperately begging for help to get money so he could set up a content house and get this, buy Birkins for his side pieces just to make his girlfriend jealous. Can you even wrap your head around that level of pettiness and misplaced priorities? Who thinks about buying expensive designer bags for random women when they're already struggling financially? The lack of common sense is truly astounding. His friend eventually managed to secure $692,000 for him specifically to stream video games online, which could have been a legitimate way to rebuild his income and brand. But what did 6IX9 do with that opportunity? He blew through all of that money in no time flat and went right back to being completely broke. No investments, no savings, no long-term planning, just immediate gratification followed by immediate financial problems. What happened between you and 6IX9INE? Oh, you talking? Cause there's dummy vapes on.
So what happened between you and 6IX9?
Oh yeah, we talked about.
Cause there's dummy vapes on the thing.
Yeah, dude.
So are you mad about that? Should we throw him off the ship or?
I honestly am mad about that. I mean, dude, Right. So I got him a deal, right?
Uh-huh.
To play video games
With Rumble?
once a week
Uh-huh.
for an hour.
Damn.
$2 million up front, and just doesn't do anything.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's pretty much that simple. It's the fact that he had no money at the time, and he needed money to fucking. He breaks up with his girlfriend, and he needs money to buy Birkin bags for all these black chicks and give away money to make his girlfriend jealous. That's literally like the factual story. I need money right now. I have no money, and I got to make my ex-girlfriend jealous by trying to have sex with all her friends. That's what happened. And he just like, bro, he told the company I need $2 million up front so I can buy a content house.
Damn.
And they believed him, dude. The guy's an idiot.
Birkin bags for random women just to make his ex-girlfriend jealous. What kind of absolute childish tomfoolery is this? Most adults learn about financial priorities in their early 20s, but apparently 6IX9INE missed that entire life lesson. And if you think that's bad, listen to this. He was so broke that he couldn't even afford to put gas in his car. Yes, you heard that correctly. His former manager WAC 100 went on the Breakfast Club and revealed that 6IX9INE financial situation was even more dire than anyone had previously thought. So completely broke that he couldn't even afford to fill up his gas tank. Imagine having all these luxury cars but not being able to actually drive them anywhere because you can't afford the gas. That's a special kind of financial rock bottom. The most ironic part of this entire situation is that just a year before making these revelations, WAC 100 was lying through his teeth to the public, boldly claiming that 6IX9INE had over $43 million worth of businesses and investments. But the moment their relationship soured and they fell out, suddenly he's telling the actual truth about the real desperate state of 6IX9INE. Finances. The way people change their stories when relationships end is truly something to behold. This just goes to show you that you can never believe the hype when it comes to celebrities and their supposed wealth. So many of them are living completely fake lifestyles for social media while drowning in debt behind the scenes. They'll wear designer clothes, borrow jewelry, lease cars they can't afford, and stay in hotel rooms just to take photos, all to maintain this illusion of wealth and success that doesn't actually exist in reality. And 6IX9INE appears to be the poster child for this phenomenon, constantly flexing on social media with cash, jewelry and cars, but meanwhile the IRS is literally auctioning off his possessions because he hasn't paid his taxes in 4 years. The cognitive dissonance is absolutely astounding. How can you possibly think it's a good idea to flaunt wealth online when you're actively avoiding your tax obligations? Did he think the IRS doesn't have Instagram accounts? It's like he genuinely believed he was untouchable, that the rules that apply to everyone else somehow didn't apply to him. But the IRS has made it abundantly clear that no one is above their reach, no matter how many rainbow grills you have or how many followers you've amassed on social media. At the end of the day, they will come for what they're owed, and they don't care about your internet clout or your music career. So WAC 6IX9INE broke or all, yeah, he broke as a mother. 6IX9INE ain't got nothing, man, over there doing bad, bro. I had to send it $20 for some gas, man, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why we was telling the people.
Yo, WAC 6IX9INE broke or nah?
Yeah, he broke as a mother. 6IX9INE ain't got nothing, man. Over there doing bad, bro. I had to send it $20 for some gas, man.
Yeah.
Bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why we was telling the people ain't nothing we can really do for you right now. Cause broke, bro, is terrible, man. Like, sad thing to see such a talented young man.
Jewelry and few cars. Absolutely sad. This is why billionaires don't care about jewelry or luxury brand clothing. It has absolutely no value, especially customized jewelry pieces and cars. Those things have high depreciation value. This is legit sad. And that comment is spot on. Real wealth isn't about flashy jewelry and customized cars. It's about assets that actually appreciate and value over time. Real estate, business, investments, stocks, bonds. These are the things that genuinely wealthy people focus on building. But 6IX9INE was too busy trying to maintain the appearance of wealth with custom pendants and chains that lose their value the moment you walk out of the jewelry store with them. Another commenter didn't hold back their feelings, stating 6IX9INE has mercilessly mocked deceased individuals and been beyond disrespectful to adversaries. The downfall of his could not have happened to a more deserving individual. Ouch. But when you think about his history of trolling, disrespecting the dead, and generally causing Chaos wherever he goes. It's not surprising that people aren't exactly rushing to offer him sympathy in his time of financial crisis. This entire situation really highlights a much bigger issue in celebrity culture, the dangerous emphasis on maintaining appearances at all costs. So many young people look up to these celebrities and try to emulate their lifestyles without realizing that it's often all smoke and mirrors. They see the jewelry, the cars, the mansions, and the stacks of cash on Instagram. But they don't see the crippling debt, the unpaid taxes, the leased vehicles, and the rented jewelry behind the scenes. And what's even more concerning is how many young artists enter the music industry without proper financial education or advisors who genuinely have their best interests at heart. They suddenly come into large sums of money through advances and deals, but without the knowledge of how to manage it, invest it, or save it for the future. When those advances dry up, they spend as if the money will keep flowing in at the same rate forever, and when it inevitably slows down or stops altogether, they find themselves in dire financial straits. 6IX9 situation should be a cautionary tale for all aspiring artists and influencers out there. Pay your taxes, invest your money wisely, don't waste it all on depreciating assets like jewelry and cars, and for goodness sake, don't buy Birkins for your side pieces when you can't even afford to put gas in your car. These are basic financial principles that everyone should understand regardless of their income level. But ultimately 6IX9 has no one to blame but himself for this situation he's in. The IRS doesn't just come after you out of nowhere. They give you plenty of opportunities to set up payment plans and get your affairs in order before they resort to seizing and auctioning your assets. The fact that they went to such extreme measures suggests that he repeatedly ignored their notices and warnings, thinking that somehow the consequences wouldn't apply to him. Well, now he's learning the hard way that no one, absolutely no one, is above paying their taxes, not even rainbow-haired rappers with millions of Instagram followers. The IRS will always get their money one way or another. But now I want to know your thoughts on this entire messy situation. What do you think about 6IX9 getting completely exposed for being broke while still trying to maintain this facade of wealth and success? And do you think the IRS is going to let him off the hook anytime soon, or are they going to continue making an example out of him? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other equally messy video that you definitely don't want to miss. Music.